All right, let's talk about NVIDIA. We're going to unpack their incredible story and really the $3 trillion gamble that changed, well, everything.
I mean, just to get a sense of the scale we're talking about here, look at this number, $3 trillion. That's the valuation NVIDIA hit. That's bigger than giants like Amazon or Google. It's a number that's honestly hard to even wrap your head around. But trust me, how they got there, that's the really astounding part.
Because you see, this $3 trillion giant, it didn't start in some fancy boardroom. Nope, it all began in a Denny's diner. 3 guys, 40,000 bucks, and an idea. The jump from that to this is it's staggering, isn't it? And this really gets to the heart of the story, because this isn't just about making cooler video games, even though, yeah, that's where it all started. This is about a massive bet-the-company kind of gamble on artificial intelligence. A bet that for years had experts just scratching their heads, right before it completely changed the world.
Okay, so let's rewind. Let's go all the way back to the beginning, to the tech that kicked this whole thing off, the graphics revolution. So back in the 90s, NVIDIA's mission was super simple: make PC games look incredible. I mean, if you remember, 3D graphics back then were, let's be honest, they were pretty clunky, flat, slow, kind of boring. NVIDIA's answer to this was the GPU, the graphics processing unit. And when they launched the GeForce 256, whoa, that was a game changer. It totally transformed the world for gamers. So the magic behind the GPU is this thing called parallel computing. Now, instead of doing one really complicated thing at a time, a GPU is built to do thousands and thousands of simple things all at once. The best way to think about it is like having an entire army of workers instead of just one super smart scientist.
And right here, this is where the genius of their strategy really starts to shine. See, while everyone else was looking at them and thinking, oh cool, a gaming hardware company, CEO Jensen Huang saw something way bigger. He saw the true potential of that parallel computing. He realized that doing thousands of things at once wasn't just for making pixels on a screen look good, it was the key to solving some of the most complex problems on the planet. And that vision, it led them to what is probably the single most important decision in the company's entire history. A bet so huge, so against the grain, and so misunderstood that it left Wall Street completely baffled for like a decade. So in 2006, NVIDIA drops this thing called CUDA. Now, this was basically a software platform that just blew the doors off the GPU, letting developers use all that parallel processing power for any task, not just graphics. They poured billions with a B into this, and for years, their stock price just sat there. Investors, critics, nobody got it. They all called it a massive, colossal waste of money.
And you know, this really breaks down why everyone was so confused. A normal CPU, right, the main brain of a computer, it has a few really powerful cores that just chew through tasks one by one, sequentially. But a GPU, it's got thousands of smaller cores all working at the same time, in parallel. NVIDIA was basically betting the farm that the world was about to run into problems that only the GPU's parallel approach could solve.
So for years, this huge question just hung over them. Was this a brilliant, visionary move that was going to define the future of computing? Or was it a catastrophic mistake that was about to sink the entire company?
And then the world finally woke up. Here's how that crazy billion-dollar gamble suddenly became the bedrock of the entire AI gold rush.
The big aha moment came out of the world of AI research. Scientists figured out that training these things called neural networks, the brains behind AI, involved exactly the kind of repetitive, massive math problems that GPUs were just perfect for. All of a sudden, CUDA wasn't a waste of money, it was the secret key everyone had been looking for. And the result of that little discovery? Total market dominance. We're talking over 80% of the entire AI chip market. They don't just have a lead here. For all intents and purposes, they own this space. Yeah, this quote just nails it perfectly. When the generative AI boom hit, with ChatGPT and everything, everybody and their brother was rushing to build their own AI. And what did every single one of them need? The tools, the hardware. NVIDIA wasn't selling the gold, they were selling the shovels. And their H100 chips became literally the most valuable tool in the entire gold rush. You can see the direct line here from that early bet all the way to today's dominance. That crazy gamble on CUDA back in 2006, it directly led to the AI breakthroughs in 2012, and that paved the way for the whole ChatGPT explosion 10 years after that. I mean, talk about playing the long game, and boy did it pay off. Which brings us to today.
Because you have to understand, what NVIDIA has done is so much bigger than just selling chips. They are quite literally building the entire infrastructure for our future.
Look, NVIDIA's journey from that Denny's diner to a $3 trillion giant, it's just a masterclass in having a vision. They didn't follow the trend, they didn't chase the existing market. They built something totally new, and they had the guts to just wait. Wait for the world to catch up and figure out what to do with it. It's like they built the future and then just waited for the rest of us to show up.
And that leaves us with one last really big question to think about. AI is becoming the foundation for pretty much everything. Drug discovery, self-driving cars, how we even get information. So, what does it really mean for you, for me, for all of us, when one single company is building the very foundation that all of it is going to run on?